Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Shamrock FC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, on my right, fighting tonight, out of the Pappies St. Peter's blue corner, a mixed martial artist that stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 133.8 pounds. Fighting out of Clarksville, Tennessee, Payton Hayes. His opponent standing across the cage, fighting tonight out of the First Form red corner. This fighter stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed in at 135.4 pounds. Fighting out of Collinsville, Illinois, Pat Grzwacz.
Referee Dwayne Bess has the call for this contest. Into the action, Pat Grzwacz in the red tape. Payton Hayes in the blue. Both of these guys quickly going down. Now, Grzwacz is a standout wrestler coming into this fight. But we're seeing a lot of work off his back here from Payton Hayes.
Yeah, Payton Hayes has a very high guard right now. Look for him to try to get an armbar. He was starting to hook under that left leg of Grzwacz, trying to catch the angle. Pat wants to posture up and try to create some space so he can land some shots, start to pass. Payton seems a little comfortable here as he's working that high guard.
Yeah.
But you don't want to stay here on your back.
No, it's not where you want to be. You want to get to a hip, try to move.
Yeah, get to an angle, start wrestling up, try to, create a sweep or a submission. You can't just lay here flat, as you see.
Oh, yeah. Hayes here looking for that potential Kimura, which can either A, be a submission or B, be a sweep, correct?
Right, yep, and very often you'll see that turn into a sweep.
Look at me knowing some jiu-jitsu after training jiu-jitsu with you now, huh?
There you go, you're learning. You're learning a little bit there for a judo guy.
I mean, not too bad. Grzwacz here now working that neck, trying to keep the pressure on.
Good job by Pat doing, he's hand fighting, he had wrist control there, protecting the neck.
Big kick upstairs from Hayes.
He's got to set those up a little bit better.
answers.
Another body kick there by Grzwacz.
Big shot underneath, looking to slide the pipe here from Grzwacz.
He's got the single leg here, see if he switches off to the double here. Payton's doing a good job with that whizzer. Trying to fight that leg to the outside so he doesn't get, that way Pat can't run the pipe and take him down with the single leg. Oh, Pat doing a good job grabbing that far ankle and scooping him up off the mat, off the cage here. Oh, Pat has one hook in. Payton doing a good job protecting himself.
Getting slammed here. Payton's got to hold on to that hand there as he's got his back taken by Grzwacz.
Yeah, Payton wants to use that cage to his advantage right now. Try to get his back to that cage, see if he can work his way on his feet. Great job by Pat, though. He's
30 seconds remaining in the round.
Sinking that rear naked choke in. He has both hooks in.
Trying to finish. Stretching him out. 20 seconds remaining.
Payton's doing a good job fighting the hands here. He's going to want to try to get his back flat to the cage mat here and turn into Pat Grzwacz.
Hayes doing a great job here of surviving.
A little short shot landed there by Hayes. Great round by both fighters. I'd give that one to Pat, though. Pat got the takedowns. He controlled the fight there, especially when he got to the ground. I wouldn't say either fighter landed, a lot of big shots, causing a lot of damage, but great control by Pat, good takedowns.
So then if you're in the corner here of Payton Hayes, what advice are you going to give him to come back?
If I'm in Payton's corner, you got to tell him, he's going to be trying to set up that takedown. So really be ready to sprawl, counter wrestle there, and make him pay whenever he does go for that. Goes for that takedown.
As we look here at our instant replay again, Grzwacz just cranking away there at that neck. trying to get it under the chin. Didn't happen, so he goes more to a neck crank, which is still extremely painful.
Very painful. Payton did a good job, though, turning into him, kind of relieving some of that pressure.
Second round underway.
Payton seems very fresh.
Both of these guys looking amazing shape. Grzwacz tries to duck for a shot, gets caught with it.
Yeah, you know, he needs to be careful just ducking his head like that. He could eat a big knee.
Oh, he ate a kick to the face on that one.
Yeah, you know, obviously Payton is really trying to time that and make him pay on the way in. Interesting position here.
Yeah, it's different. I don't know what else to say about that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like an odd, almost getting, you know, to the back. You know, he has control here. Obviously not the traditional, you know, hook that you would have with your right leg, but he's using his left leg for a control there.
Head pressure here coming out of Grzwacz.
Yeah, good head position there by Grzwacz. He's just
because he's making him carry the weight on the cage. And when you put that head underneath the chin, basically it gives your opponent a very little mobility. Big stomp there out of Grzwacz. Big knee there, though, coming out of Hayes.
Yeah, you know, Grzwacz, he had the underhook with the right arm. As you see, he was pressuring Hayes into the cage. Grzwacz looking to grab the single leg here. Now he's looking for that. He's going to scoop that ankle, going for the double. Nice job by Hayes.
Big.
Great takedown.
Big moves there. Hayes fighting hard from the bottom. Grzwacz doing a great job here, kind of posture up there now.
Yeah, Pat's going to use his cage to his advantage. As you see, he's putting you know, Hayes' head into the cage.
And again, that grinding on the cage of your head, I would rather take the punch to the face than be my head on the cage.
Oh, nice job by Hayes, pushing off and getting right to his feet.
Big shot to the body.
Coming forward, again, you know, Hayes has to be aware that, you know, Pat wants to get that takedown, so you can't overcommit to your shots. You got to maintain that spacing.
A lot of pressure here coming from Grzwacz again, though. Hayes trying to swim, trying to get that underhook. Big close to that knee there.
30 seconds remaining in the round.
Nice 1-2 there by Hayes.
This is a great back and forth battle.
Yeah, Grzwacz has the body lock. Let's see if he uses that to kind of ragdoll Hayes off the cage and just take him straight down. Maybe land some knees there. Oh, there you go. Try to ragdoll him down. Oh.
Grzwacz now taking the back. Get the hooks in. He's got one hook in.
He's only got 10 seconds, though. It's going to be tough to do a lot here. However, you know, you are ending the round in a position of dominance. You know, I gotta imagine it's 2-1 after that. You know, Grzwacz was on top a majority of that round. Again, not a lot of damage, but a lot of control.
No, we do see a mouse under the left eye there of Grzwacz. Now, if you are in the corner of Pat Grzwacz, what advice are you going to give him?
You know, he's probably up, you know, 2-0, but it doesn't mean you want to coast. Be careful and conscious of the big knees, of the up kicks as you're going for those takedowns. Really try to set those up. Don't just rush in to get the takedown sloppily. You know, you could really leave yourself exposed. If I'm in Hayes' corner, you know, you got to be honest with him. Hey, man, neither one of those rounds look good for you. You got to come out here and really put on the pressure. You know,
yeah, you've got to tell him he's got to finish.
You got to finish it. You know, whether it's take him down, submit him, you know, try to land a big shot. Don't get careless.
This is your third and final round. St. Louis, let them hear ya.
Touch of the gloves, third round. Grzwacz in the blue shorts, Hayes in the black shorts.
You know, Hayes has got to really
has got to do something.
He's got to control his spacing.
Oh, big knee to the body.
You can't let Pat just wrestle him and take him down to the ground.
This has worked, though, constantly for Grzwacz. It's get that single pull it in, get it to the ground.
Yeah, and you know, Pat's doing a great job of transitioning from that single into the double. You see him, he's picking the ankle and scooping that up off the cage. He's also getting around both the hips, using that for the takedown. Nice sprawl here by Hayes.
Hayes now on top.
Yep, Hayes is going to push that head down. He's going to keep that hip, you know, flat to the mat as best he can. What he needs to do is push on that arm that's around his leg and try to spin, as he's also pushing on the head. Big shots there by Hayes.
Big hands out of Hayes.
You know, Pat's just committed to this takedown. You know, and this pressure can be very tiring whenever you're sitting there constantly trying to defend the takedown. It is not an easy thing to do. Look for Hayes to run the pipe. Oh, no, he's going to try to switch to the double.
But he's doing a great job here. It's landing those shots to the body. It's leaving that something in the judges. I'm throwing bombs. We are down to 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in the third and final round.
Hayes trying to attack he was trying to, you know, attack a Kimura grip there a little bit, it looked like. Some knees there by Hayes. You know, Pat Grzwacz is very committed to this single leg position.
Yeah, he is not letting go.
I'd like to see him.
And at some point in time, you gotta basically just move on.
You gotta do something else. You know, either try to run the pipe or, you know.
Big straight kick there out of Hayes.
1 minute remaining in this
See how long
contest.
he tries to hold this. I'd like to see him maybe disengage, throw some shots, and then maybe come back in for the takedown. Try to set it up that way.
Again, Hayes just dropping bombs to the body.
Yeah, you know, Hayes is doing a good job. He has a nice wide base. He's using that cage. Pat needs to be careful leaving his neck exposed.
Absolutely.
You know, the guillotine is there whenever you're so committed to the takedown like that.
Because it's all about head position and where your head goes into the chest. You don't want to leave it hanging out there for that guillotine.
Yeah, you don't want to keep your head down necessarily. You do leave yourself open for the guillotine when you do that. You'd be better off with you know, your head position a little bit higher into the chest, under the chin. When you are dropping down as low as he is, you know, obviously you can't necessarily keep your head position there, but you don't want to hang out that low the whole time. Great pressure by Pat, though.
Yeah. Oh, one more at the end. A beautiful fight there. Pat Grzwacz, Payton Hayes.
I think that the name of this, you know, the star of this fight was obviously Pat Grzwacz wrestling. He had a lot of control throughout the fight. Had some good takedowns.
It's a very close contest coming into this, but we'll see what the judges saw.
You never know what the judges are looking at.
Absolutely. As we go to our instant replay here again, Hayes dropping bombs to the body, trying to get out of that position. Grzwacz then gives up on that single leg. But that single leg really was the story of the fight.
Look how fresh Hayes is.
Yeah.
I love how in shape he came. You know, he's a gamer. This kid has a bright future in front of him. He didn't take really any crazy damage. I'm sure he could fight again if he wanted to.
Absolutely. Let's throw this one up to Joe Parisi to give us our results.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the conclusion of our 3 scheduled rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for your official decision. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Tonight's winner out of the red corner, Pat Grzwacz.
Pat Grzwacz with the win there. Again, the wrestling was the story of this fight.
Yeah, just relentless pressure by Pat Grzwacz. You know, he got big takedowns early in the first and second round. You know, he controlled on top. Man, just great wrestling all around by Pat Grzwacz in that one.